He didn't change in one day, but one day changed everything. He didn't change in one day, but one day quietly, unexpectedly, changed everything. It wasn't dramatic. There was no big announcement, no sudden transformation, no magical moment where everything just clicked. He didn't wake up with discipline. He didn't suddenly become strong. He didn't become focused overnight. Because real change doesn't work like that. Real change is slow, uncomfortable, invisible at first. But it always begins with something small, a moment, a realization, a decision that most people ignore. He was comfortable, too comfortable, the kind of comfort that doesn't feel dangerous, but slowly destroys you from the inside. Late nights every single day, not because he had important work, but because sleep didn't feel urgent. Junk food again and again, not because he was hungry, but because it was easy. No movement, no routine, no structure, no discipline. Just existing, day after day, in the same cycle. And the worst part? He didn't even realize how deep he was in it, because everything felt normal. Everyone around him lived the same way. Scrolling endlessly, eating without thinking, delaying everything that actually mattered. So he told himself, "This is fine. I still have time. I'll fix it later." He wasn't lazy. He was just used to this life, used to choosing comfort over effort, used to avoiding discomfort, used to pushing everything important to tomorrow. And that tomorrow, never came. Every time he looked at himself, not just physically, but honestly, he felt it. That small discomfort. The quiet voice in the back of his mind, telling him something wasn't right, telling him, "This isn't who you want to be. You're capable of more. You're wasting time." But he ignored it. Again, and again, and again, because listening to that voice would mean changing. And change is uncomfortable. Comfort, on the other hand, is addictive. It pulls you in slowly, makes you feel safe, while quietly taking everything from you, your energy, your confidence, your potential. And one day, everything caught up to him. It wasn't in front of a mirror. It wasn't a motivational video. It wasn't someone else telling him what to do. It was real, raw, unavoidable. He was outside, doing something simple. Something that should have felt easy, but didn't. He felt it. His breathing heavier than usual. His body slower than it should be. His energy almost gone. And in that moment, he couldn't lie to himself anymore. For the first time, he saw the truth. Not the version he imagined in his head. Not the excuses he told himself. But reality. Out of breath. Low energy. No confidence. No control. And something inside him shifted. For the first time, he didn't say, "I'll fix this later." He didn't blame circumstances. He didn't make excuses. He accepted it. Fully. Honestly, without running away. "This is my fault." And that sentence, that simple, painful truth, was the beginning of everything. Because the moment you stop lying to yourself is the moment your life starts changing. He didn't decide to change to impress anyone. Not for validation. Not for social media. Not to prove anything to others. He changed because he was tired. Not physically. Mentally. Emotionally. Deeply tired of being the same person. Tired of feeling weak. Tired of avoiding challenges. Tired of knowing what he should do, but never doing it. Tired of starting and stopping. Tired of promising himself things and breaking those promises. Most importantly, he was tired of running from himself. And that kind of tired changes you. So he didn't start big. He didn't go all in. He didn't try to fix everything overnight. Because this time, he understood something important. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need motivation. You don't need everything figured out. You just need to start. So he did something simple, something almost insignificant. He went for a walk. No big goal, no expectations, no pressure, just movement. And that's where most people fail. They think change has to be extreme. They think it has to be fast. They think it has to be perfect. But real change starts small. Because starting small is better than not starting at all. He walked the next day too, and the day after that, not because he felt motivated, not because it was easy, but because he made a decision, and this time, he chose to respect it. Some days were harder. Some days his body resisted. Some days his mind told him to stop, to skip, to rest, to go back to comfort, but this time, he didn't listen. Because now, he had seen the truth. And once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. At first, it didn't feel like progress. There were no big changes, no visible results, no instant transformation, just effort, repeated. Every single day, some mornings, he didn't want to wake up. His body felt heavy. His mind was louder than ever, telling him, just skip today. You can start tomorrow. One day won't matter. The same voice that had controlled him for years was still there, still trying to pull him back into comfort, back into excuses, back into the life he was trying to leave behind. But this time, he noticed it. He didn't follow it blindly, he questioned it. Why do I want to quit when I just started? Why does my mind resist when I'm doing something good for myself? And slowly, he began to understand something powerful. Your mind doesn't want growth. It wants comfort. It wants safety. It wants what it already knows. And anything new, anything uncomfortable, feels like a threat. That's why it tells you to stop. That's why it pushes you back. That's why it makes excuses feel logical. But this time, he didn't listen. He got up anyway, even when it felt wrong, even when it felt hard, even when nothing inside him wanted to move. Because he realized, discipline isn't about feeling ready. It's about doing it anyway. And that changed everything. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into routines. What once felt difficult started feeling normal. Waking up early, moving his body, choosing better food. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't impossible anymore. He started noticing small changes, not in the mirror, but in how he felt. His breathing improved. His energy lasted longer. His mind felt clearer. For the first time in a long time, he felt in control. Not fully, not perfectly, but enough to keep going. And then came the next step. The place he had always avoided. The place that made him feel uncomfortable. The place where he thought he didn't belong. The gym. He stood outside, just looking at it. People going in, people coming out. Everyone looked confident. Everyone looked like they knew what they were doing. And for a moment, that old feeling came back. Doubt. Fear. Insecurity. What if I can't do this? What if I look stupid? What if I fail again? But then, another voice answered, a stronger one. You already failed by not trying. And that was enough. He walked in, not confident, not strong, not ready, but willing, and that's all it takes. The first day was uncomfortable. Everything felt unfamiliar. Machines he didn't understand. Movements he wasn't used to. People who seemed ahead of him. He felt slow, weak, out of place. But he didn't leave. He stayed. He tried. He struggled. And that mattered more than anything else. Because this time, he didn't quit. He started small again. Basic exercises, simple movements. No ego, no comparison, just learning, just improving, just showing up. His body resisted, muscles sore, energy drained, pain in places he never noticed before. But instead of stopping, he understood it. This pain was different. It wasn't the pain of regret. It wasn't the pain of laziness. It was the pain of growth. And that pain felt worth it. Day after day, he kept going. Some days were strong. Some days were weak. Some days he felt unstoppable. Some days he felt like giving up. But he showed up anyway. And that's where everything changed. Because success is not built on perfect days. It's built on days when you don't feel like it, but you still do it. He stopped chasing motivation. He stopped waiting to feel ready. He focused on one thing only: consistency. Same time, same effort. Every single day, no shortcuts, no excuses, no negotiation, just action. And slowly, very slowly, he started becoming someone else, not because he wanted to change his life in one day, but because he refused to stay the same. One day you'll look back and wish you started today. Don't wait for that regret. Be stronger than your excuses. And take control now.